To believe how far we have come since the Supreme Court overturned Section 3 of the Discriminatory Defense of Marriage Act 1 year ago tomorrow. While that decision paved the way for married same-sex couples to receive equal access to federal protections and benefits, many couples are still fighting for equal treatment under federal law. And despite the Obama administration's announcement of expanded benefits last week, there are still many legally married same-sex couples seeking Social Security spousal benefits who will continue to be viewed as second-class citizens in the eyes of the law. Right now, a couple is only able to receive these federal benefits if they're currently living in a state that recognizes their marriage. So for many couples who cross state lines to tie the knot or have moved from marriage equality states to those that don't recognize their marriage, this fight continues. This seemingly subjective denial of spousal benefit claims places an economic and an emotional burden on the families of legally married same-sex couples. And while many of us here, including myself, had hoped the administration would make this fix on their own, we're here today to provide Congress with a legislative roadmap to get this done once and for all.
Thank Senator Murray for her outstanding leadership in the Senate, along with Senator Udall and the others who are advancing this measure, and my original sponsors here in the House too, Representative Allison Schwartz from Pennsylvania, Elizabeth Esty from Connecticut, Eliana Ross-Layton from Florida. We have 41 co-sponsors of the same act, and I think Senator Murray explained it very well. But we live in a very, I think, exciting and rapidly changing time right now in our nation's history when it comes to the advancement of human and civil rights. With numerous federal courts now weighing in, the fact that 19 states do recognize full marriage equality rights for same-sex couples, and 15 states now whose ban have been overturned by federal court decisions. Just a couple of weeks ago, a federal district judge in Wisconsin overturned the ban that existed in my home state. And just today, the news broke that a federal court in Indiana has now struck down their marriage equality ban, and the three-judge panel in the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals struck down the Utah marriage ban. And last Friday, to the President's credit and the administration, they announced a series of equal protections for same-sex couples within the federal workforce. It was the right thing to do. They were trying to close a gap that the Supreme Court decision, the Windsor decision, left open of over a year ago. And yet there is still more action that this United States Congress can and should take to recognize marriage equality throughout our entire country. That's why we found it necessary to introduce the Social Security and Marriage Equality Act, the same act that Senator Murray was just discussing. It is the right thing to do. That same-sex couples should be able to enjoy the same benefits, the same protection as other married couples when it comes to their Social Security benefits. This will add a tremendous amount of peace of mind and income security for them in their retirement years. And we're hoping that more of our colleagues in this Congress will get on the right side of history and recognize where the movement has been throughout our country. I have a feeling that years from now, probably in the very near term, people are going to be looking back at this episode of our nation's history and shrugging their shoulders and saying, what the heck was that all about? I think our children and grandchildren are already there, quite frankly. Because if you look at the history of our country, discrimination has never worked for us. Second-class citizenship has never worked well for our country. And we tend to look back on those periods with great regret, if not downright embarrassment. And this is another step in the direction of full civil rights and full recognition of marriage equality in our society. And it's the right thing for this Congress to do. The same act has been pending with 41 co-sponsors. You see one of mine has just showed up here today too. But there are numerous other bills that the Congress can be taking, especially in the House right now, to recognize full equal right for the LGBT community in this country.
I'm the president of the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare. I was going to start out by saying that we're here to enthusiastically support the Social Security and Marriage Equality Act, but after listening to you, Congressman Esty, I'm going to say we adamantly support it. It's not a political party issue. It's not an ideological issue. I think it's a civil right, a constitutional civil right issue, and that's the way we should be talking about it, and that's the way we are talking about it. And this kind of a battle to do the right thing, to help people, it's the reason why so many of us that are involved in this battle got involved in public service in the first place. And it's why we're so proud of the progress that we've all talked about that's been made on this issue. Now you see I'm standing in front of our wonderful volunteers who are always there for us. They're wearing our beautiful yellow, striking yellow t-shirts. I am not standing in front of a mission accomplished banner. And you know what I'm talking about. Because this mission is not accomplished. The battle is not over. That's why we're supporting this legislation. 19 states and the District of Columbia recognize same-sex marriage. And 3 additional states have inheritance laws that are broad enough to cover committed partners and provide Social Security benefits. So LGBT couples in these states are fully eligible to receive Social Security benefits. It's not true for those people in 28 other states that do not recognize these marriages. So until Congress or the courts intervene, Social Security claims filed by these people, these couples, who reside in what we call non-recognition states, will be in effect denied. To help these LGBT families, the National Committee Foundation has been conducting town hall educational forums around the country to explain what the benefits are, to urge individuals to file for benefits regardless of where they reside. In fact, we're holding a town hall meeting at 5:30 today in Boston. But these families should not be forced to wait any longer. As you know, justice delayed for these families who live in states that do not recognize same-sex marriage is justice denied. So we are grateful to the sponsors. Thank you so much for introducing and supporting the SAME Act. And it's about time we remove one of the key remaining barriers to marriage equality. It's time for Congress to pass this legislation, and it's time for Congress to allow Social Security beneficiaries to receive benefits regardless of where they live. So thank you again. Thank you so much. And your benefits start the month that you apply. So there were, I think, 500 people at the meeting, and we urge people to apply that day. It was the last day. So if their benefits if they qualified, they would start receiving them that month. And Social Security regional office told us that they got 500 applications that day, that afternoon. So there's a pent-up interest in this.